Welcome back to Cooley Loves Comic Books. For this episode, I want to tell you about issue number 1 of Bliss by Lewis and Yarsky. This book just came out this week, July 22nd, and this book grabbed me. And that's why I wanted to make this video. It just came out. It's never going to be easier than now to head down to your local comic book shop or to find this book and help it succeed and be along for the ride as it comes out. It's only slated to be 8 issues, and this looks like it's going to be one of the good ones for sure. So I want to just kind of give you my initial impressions, and more than anything, just wanted to kind of give you the heads up about this book so you can check it out and see what you think and kind of go from there. So just real quick right up front, just want to say if you like this channel, if you like the content I'm putting out, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. It'd be a huge help. Really appreciate it. It helps other people find the channel, helps the channel grow. So that'd be great. Really appreciate that. So where I heard about this book was listening to Talking Comic Books. Their podcast, episode number 540. They do a long form interview with Sean Lewis and Caitlin Yarsky. Those two collaborated on their first book together. It was called Coyotes, which I did not read, but I did hear good things about it for sure. So this is their second collaboration. And initially, like one of the first things from the interview that came out was that because they've worked together before, their collaboration is just moving along even more smoothly. And it also sounds like it's very clear that Sean Lewis has a very clear story in mind to tell. Caitlin is right there with him on that story, and she has taken her art to another level. And just listening to their interview and kind of the issues that are on their minds, the story that they're wanting to tell, that was compelling enough for me to head down to my local comic book store and pick this up this week. When I walked in there, because this just came out, 2 of the employees had this on as one of their picks of the week as well. So clearly, a lot of people that have read this were excited by it, and I'm gonna say I'm one of those as well. What I'll say, like my initial impression, is this is, well, for one, I'll say that this is going to be a book for mature audiences. I'd say probably 16 or 18 and up. This is probably not going to be an easy book to read, but it's going to be a good book to read, and it's going to be a really good story. I think it's going to be probably a pretty heavy, but it's got I expect it to be a pretty powerful story as well. And this is like the perfect story for the comic book medium. Just right at the beginning, the first few pages of this book, that's what initially grabbed me the most. You look at page 1 and the way that it's laid out, the imagery, the artwork, it sets the story in motion so effortlessly because of the artwork, because of the visual medium, and that's what comics are all about. This is like, if you're writing this just in prose, you'd be very hard pressed to start the story out in that same place, in that same way, and then to cut to the next page to basically this trial scene. And the details are that this is a trial of sorts, of some kind, but it's not. You start to look at the background, look at the setting. There's something different here. There's something unusual. That you're in a different place, a different space, there's a lot of just interesting texture that you get just from the artwork, and the story. The story and the prose and the visuals are just working together so well in this book. This is a book about it's definitely going to be about a father and son and a family. They're going to be at the center of it. You have a father that has a sick child, and he's not able to take care of the sick child, and that in and of itself is a solid ground for a story. But in here, what they've done is, the fantasy element that comes into it is, in the city that they're in, Feral City, there are these gods of the underworld, and they have this drug called Bliss. And if you take this drug, then you forget doing something that you've regretted doing or didn't want to do. And that is the mechanism. This father's not able to help his son. He gets pulled into doing things that he doesn't want to do for the gods of the underworld, I guess, and using this drug to forget about it, so that he can go back to his family, I guess, with a clean conscience. And that's fascinating. That's really interesting. And the way that the art kind of unfolds on top of that. I mean, it just works so well. You really want to check this book out. And why I wanted to make this video, obviously there's just the one issue yet, but there's something here. It feels like this could be one of the good ones. And man, it's so nice to jump onto one of these stories at the beginning, so you can be along for the ride for every issue, versus having to kind of try and track them down after the fact. So that's where I kind of want to just get word out right from the get-go. Right now this is slated to be 8 issues, and who knows where we go from there. But this is definitely going to be a good one. Definitely one to check out. So if you can, head down to your local comic book store, support them, pick this book up. Should never be easier than it is right now to do so. Yeah, and just give it a read, give it a look, see what you think. And maybe this is something where you can just jump on right at the beginning. I know I am, and kind of go from there. I definitely have a good feeling that once all 8 issues have come out, that I'll probably come back and look at the story as a whole. I think this one is going to be a good one. So yeah, give it a look, see what you think. Thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it. In the meantime, I'm going to go read some more comic books, and that's what you should do too. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one.